every week we're going to do a little start 'em, sit 'em. Are you ready to rock and roll here?
I'm ready to rock and roll. I tell you what, it's been so interesting this draft season with Ezekiel Elliott up and down draft boards, Andrew Luck situation, and then we come into week one and we got a bye in the middle of week one. Unbelievable. So I guess it just keeps rolling on. Shows you what kind of fantasy football year we're going to have. But I'm game for it, though.
We'll get to that impromptu buy in a second. Let's start with the guys that you're buying as definite starts this week. Who are your top three?
My top three starts this week, I think owners need to make sure they get Cam Newton in their lineups. Haven't really seen much of him in the preseason, so people might be a little bit skeptical on Cam Newton, but this game has a nice high Vegas total at 48 points. The San Francisco 49ers, they're not going to be able to keep up with this team. Want to see how he works with his new weapon in Christian McCaffrey, plus very soft secondary. So if you have some trepidation about Cam Newton, I think you can go ahead and roll him out there with no problem this weekend. Another guy I like a lot this weekend, I'm going to be using him in season-long leagues and in some DFS, is Tennessee Titan wide receiver Rashard Matthews. Marcus Mariota was phenomenal last year. Matter of fact, he connected with Matthews for 9 touchdowns, mainly in the second half of the season. So when you look at the situation, they bring in Eric Decker. He wasn't really healthy, missed a lot of practice time. The rookie superstar Corey Davis, same thing, missed a lot of practice time. Rashard Matthews already has the rapport with Marcus Mariota, not to mention the fact he's been practicing, he's healthy. Think he has a big game in which should be a phenomenal game for fantasy with Tennessee and Oakland. And then Stephon Diggs, you know. You people say, well, I'm not in the PPR, but this is a guy that can flirt with 90 receptions this year, plus another game that should be shootout-type scoring with Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints. So those are three guys I think you definitely have to get in your lineup week one, whether you're a 10-team or 12-team league.
How about Stephon Diggs or Adrian Peterson? John asks.
Oh, yeah, that's a simple one right there, John. You have to take Stephon Diggs in this situation. He's going to be heavily targeted. Like I said, I think he can flirt with 100 receptions this season. Adrian Peterson is toast. He's an old man. He's popped. He's done. He shouldn't be on your team, John.
Washed?
Washed.
Washed, to use the parlance of our time.
Yeah, he's washed.
All right, so you say sit Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Who are your other three top sits for the week?
I think you have to sit Dante Moncrief. 2 words, Scott Tolzien. Listen, Moncrief banged up Tolzien. That whole situation looks bad out there right now. I can't really see myself putting, and I have some shares of Dante Moncrief, but I can't see myself putting him in the lineup for week one just because it's so uncertain, that situation with Mr. Tolzien. Also, Jeremy Maclin, him and Joe Flacco for the most part not practicing, just starting to get ready to go. Now, he will be out there week one, Mr. Flacco, but connection with Jeremy Maclin, his new wide receiver, don't really see it being there right off the top. So I think Maclin is a guy that we sit, play the long game with Maclin, see where him and Flacco at once they get more comfortable. And then Eli Manning, a tough week coming up, big game in Dallas. Now, he normally plays very well there, but I think he's right outside that top 12 quarterbacks this week. Situation with Odell Beckham, a little bit banged up, so I think it's going to be difficult for Eli to have a big game this week. I think it's 12 quarterbacks that can outperform him this week.
He is Corey Parson, the fantasy exec. I'm Robin Lundberg of SI Now Live. We'll be doing this every week, start 'em or sit 'em, so get your questions ready after you're licking your wounds or celebrating from week one.